Hello, everyone. Welcome to this virtual information session about the Doctorate of Science program in Civil Security Leadership, Management, and Policy. I am Dr. Juste Kojo, the director of the program. I'll be assisted by Sashi, who is the assistant director in the Office of Admissions at NJCU. Hopefully, you can all hear me. If not, just please let me know. But I think we'll proceed. And then if you have questions, we'll be answering questions at the end of my presentation. Meanwhile, if you want to type in your questions in the chat room, we can also address them as well at the end. All right, so let's give or start with a brief background about our university, the New Jersey City University. We are a public institution. We are funded by the state of New Jersey, of course, and we are located mainly, I would say, located in the urban area in Jersey City. We do have multiple other campuses throughout the state, and we are known as a minority institution and also a Hispanic serving institution. About 68% of our student body is a minority population. At the university, we do have all levels, undergraduate levels and graduate levels. And on average, we have about 8,000 enrollments per year. And as you'll see, if you look us up, you'll see we heavily rely on technology, and especially in our department where we have things like cybersecurity and the like. And I will talk about the department briefly before I can move on to the specific doctoral program. So the department that hosts the doctoral program is the Professional Security Studies Department. We offer a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, as well as a doctoral degree, of course, in professional security. We cover multiple concentrations. One is the traditional national security, and by that we mean issues related to homeland security, international security, defense issues, intelligence issues, international security issues as well. So we put all that under the bigger umbrella of national security. The second area of concentration is corporate security. If you are interested in examining security issues across the corporate world, corporations, private organizations, private security organizations, if you're interested in those, we cover that as well. And the third area of concentration is cybersecurity. We heavily touch on issues of cybersecurity in the department. We actually have an entire degree in cybersecurity, a bachelor's degree, and we are currently putting in place a master's degree in cybersecurity issues. So those are the three main areas of concentration that we have at all levels, including the doctoral level. So per year, we have on average about 1,500 enrollments in the department, which is pretty significant given the professional nature of what we do. That means that many people are pretty much interested in professional security issues, so that's very encouraging. We have about 10 full-time faculty in the department, and because we are a professional department, we heavily rely on adjunct professors who are experts in the field. You will see, for instance, we may have a former FBI officer who teaches intelligence at the department. So those are the things we try to do, and we are still growing in terms of faculty, and hopefully we'll have more in the future and have more students in the future. We are recognized by the major affiliations in the field, and good thing is we are a center of academic excellence. This certification is very rare, and we actually happen to have two of them. We are one of very few schools who have both. The first one is the NSA DHS, NSA National Security Agency, DHS Department of Homeland Security, cyber defense certification that we have. The second one is from the intelligence community, run by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So we are a Center of Academic Excellence recognized by those two entities. As I said, very rare. And the advantage is that our students, because we have those two, are exposed to opportunities to, explore, job opportunities, internships, conferences, presentations from either one of those entities. So very significant certification here. Now let's touch on the doctoral program itself. As I said, we cover, three main areas from national security, corporate security, and cybersecurity, of course. Now, at the doctoral level, however, we do not cover each of those in detail. What we do is we give you an opportunity to actually work with a faculty or with a number of faculty who are experts in one of those fields. If you are hoping to write a dissertation about a topic that falls under one of those. So you will have an advisor depending on your research interest. If it's cybersecurity, then we'll put you together with a faculty member that has similar interests, and then they will guide you through your research, and that's how you become an expert and specialize in this field. All right? And we are a 3-year program. Okay, keep in mind, traditional doctoral degrees, my personal degree took me 5 years to complete. And a full-time, student didn't work. So that's very different what we offer here. It's a 3-year program. Most of our students have jobs, are working, are professionals, and many still strive to finish within 3 years. And if you can't, that's fine. We'll talk about that in a minute. But just so you know, that's the model that we have here. In terms of teaching, we are also different than other programs. We don't meet for class throughout the semester. We have summer, fall, and spring semesters. In summer, we meet 2 weeks in July, and the rest of the class takes place online through online discussions on Blackboard, emails with the instructor. And in fall and spring, we only meet 2 weekends, okay? One at the beginning and one later in the semester. And again, the rest is online. One thing to keep in mind is that we are a cohort-based program. What does that mean? It means that students come in as a group, and we offer classes to the group as a whole, and we guide them until they graduate as a group. So if you miss your group, in the second year, then you will need to wait for the next year to join the next group. So that's the concept here. In that way, we are different from other doctoral programs as well. We expect typically about 15 to 18 students in each group. This year and last year, due to the pandemic, we had lower numbers, but it usually turns around 12 students. So we're hoping that's about the amount of students we're hoping to get this year. The program covers about 48 credits. Of those, 30 are what we call core courses, and I'll talk about those core courses in a minute. And 18, credits are for dissertation level courses, and I'll, touch on those in a minute as well. One thing that makes us unique as well is that we are a scholar practitioner program. We have most, if not all, of our faculty have worked in the field, in one area in the field, and have been trained and obtained the doctoral degree as a researcher. So we combine those two to give you what we call a scholar practitioner, training education, hoping that You will use your own professional background to inform your research, and also hope that the research that you produce will inform policy. Okay, we are hoping to make our students become policy driven, if you will. Now, the program was first launched in July 2012, and we now have 9 different groups who have attended or attending the program. The next group, the 10th group, will start in July this year, and we refer to the cohort as the learning community. Okay, so since we started the program in 2012, about 32 students have completed the doctoral degree. And we currently have about 44 students who are either at some points in the program, either at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, and working on the dissertation. We currently have about 9 in the first year, about the same number in the second year, and about I think 6 or 7 in the third year, and the rest, they have completed all the courses and are just working on the dissertation and be ready to defend and become the next doctor. Now, in terms of those 32 people who have completed the program, many of them have had promotions at their job, so they've remained at the same job but got promotion because of the doctoral degree. Many have moved on to a teaching position, either as a full-time or as an adjunct. Actually, we just had someone earlier this year who was hired to teach at the Seton Hall University as a full-time faculty. So that's a pretty big deal. We also have our alumni who are pretty actively involved in research, in conferences, they speak at different opportunities, and so on and so forth. So those are the types of scholar practitioners we try to produce. All right. In terms of what you need to be able to get into the program, the first requirement is a master's degree. Of course, your master's should be from an institution with the appropriate accreditation. And your discipline doesn't have to be specifically one of the 3 areas of security that I highlighted earlier, but as long as it is in one form or the other associated with security, you should be good. And we are looking for a GPA of 3.5 or higher in your master's degree, or postmaster's degree if you happen to have other degrees. And when you apply, we will need your official transcripts of all levels, undergraduate and graduate levels, okay? The other thing also is, which is pretty important, is your work experience. To be admitted to the program, you need at least 4 years of professional experience in the field of security. Doesn't matter which field, but as long as it is related to security, you should be fine. The next requirement is the GRE, or one of the standard graduate student assessment tests. But because of the pandemic, since last year, we've been waiving this requirement, okay? I'll repeat it again. We're waiving the GRE and other standard test requirement. So good thing for you for at least this cycle. We don't know whether we'll keep that waiver in the coming years, but this year at least we are waiving it. And we'll need 2 letters of recommendation. Make sure that you have a letter that comes from at least one faculty, because this is a doctoral program. If you only have letters from people you work with, fine, we'll take them. But you want to, give you more higher chances of getting into the program. And it's a good thing if someone can speak to your academic skills and ability. So talk to one of your former professors from your master's degree program. If it is, you can't find any and you only can submit from your work, that's fine as well. supervisors, that's fine. But again, ideally, you want to include at least one letter from a faculty member at an institution where you took classes who can speak to your academic credentials. Then we need a personal statement, a letter. This cover letter, you want to make sure you clearly at least address two things. One is why you want to, complete a doctoral degree, and specifically this one. And two, what specific issue you are interested in, studying or investigating or researching. That gives you more chances of, getting you into the program, because then we know this is a person who already is clear about what they want to do, what they want to do with the degree, and what specifically they want to study. And that last part is important because for us, we want to know, do we have the expertise to guide you in your research? That's why it is important for you to tell us in your letter the issues that you are interested in or the fields that you are interested in and why. Now, if your master's degree for some reason was from an institution that is not an English-speaking institution, you got it in a French-speaking country, Spanish-speaking country, and so on and so forth, then we will need a TOEFL score from you. You can find out on the internet how to take the test and then provide a score if that applies to you. Let's talk briefly about the courses that you will be, that students typically take in the program. So one thing to keep in mind, before classes start, we mail all the books to each student. So you don't need to buy the books that we assign. You can buy your own books, additional ones if you want to, but the required textbooks or books, we mail them to you at your address. And we expect you to read them and be prepared to come to class to discuss them, because we have a seminar format. People should be, prepared and ready to have discussions, which is one more reason why we want people with professional experience so that they can share their perspectives with others. So participation and engagement in classroom discussions is very, very much valued here in the program. Now, once you join the program, the first semester is your summer semester. So you start in summer. In summer, you take 2 classes on current security issues or current issues in civil security. And 2 professors will be teaching those 2 classes from July all the way through the end of August. As I said, we will have 2 weeks in July, and the rest of the class in summer takes place online until the end of August. So once you're done with summer classes and you pass, because that's the other thing with our program, you need to pass classes before you can move to the next one, before you can move to the next semester, because we are a learning community based. So once you pass those 2 classes in summer 1, you move to fall 1. And in fall, you will be taking policy development and implementation, and then budget and development and implementation. And those 2 classes are taught by 2 professors. The format in fall is 2 weekends, one in September and the second one in December. So between those 2 in September, December, the remainder of the class takes place online through online discussions and emails and the like, okay? So assuming you pass the fall 1 class, you move to spring 1. Spring 1, you take 2 classes again, emergency management operations 1 and 2. And those 2 are taught by 2 different professors as well. Same format, 2 weekends meeting in person. The first time we meet in person in spring is in January, and the second time we meet in spring is in March. The rest is online, okay? And when we say weekend meeting, it's Friday evening through Sunday afternoon, okay? So twice during the semester. And assuming you pass spring 1, you move to summer 2 for communication courses. 2 courses, communications 1 and 2, taught by 2 different professors specialized in communications. And the same format for summer applies, 2 weeks in July, and then the remainder online until the end of August. Assuming you pass the communication class in summer 2, you move to fall 2, where you take the data analysis class. The data analysis is basically a research method class. That will be the last course or the last class for your core courses. And again, this is a set of 2 classes combined, the data analysis, taught by 2 professors. So once you are done with the data analysis classes in fall 2, you have completed the core courses, which will then make you eligible to take the comprehensive exam. And we call it, COMS. So the COMS, once you pass the COMS, you become a doctoral candidate. You are no longer a student, you become a candidate, okay? And so that happens at the end of your second fall semester in the program. Then you move on to the dissertation level classes. And that starts in the second spring semester in the program, where you take 2 classes on dissertation proposal. These 2 classes help you develop a dissertation proposal and then use that to develop the first 3 chapters of your dissertation. All right. So we have 2 instructors who will teach that and guide you. And then you'll be working with a dissertation committee of 3 members who will guide you to write your first 3 chapters on your dissertation topic. And once you are done with the spring 2 classes, you move to summer 3. Summer 3, you take 2 classes again, dissertation seminar 1 and 2, taught by 2 professors. And this time you focus on the analysis of your data for your dissertation. So you collect your own data, you analyze them, you write your policy recommendation chapters, and the 2 instructors will guide you through that process, give you or provide you with the skills you need to be able to analyze your data and write the final chapters of your dissertation. So assuming you pass the 3rd semester in the program, you move to fall 3. Fall 3 is the last semester basically in the program. And in that semester, you will be taking 2 classes again, dissertation advisement 1, dissertation advisement and dissertation completion. So in those classes, you learn skills about how to refine your dissertation, how to present your dissertation, how to defend it successfully, and that prepares you for your oral defense for your dissertation, which is the last stage of your journey, doctoral journey, okay? Now, if for some reason you are not able to finish your degree in the fall of your 3rd year, you will be required to enroll in 1 class every semester following that until you graduate. And we call that class maintenance of matriculation. And that will be with me. You won't be taking any classes. I will just be enrolling you so that you keep your affiliation with the program, okay? And you use those semesters to finish your dissertation. And keep in mind that there is a time limit. You are required to finish your doctoral degree within 7 years from the day you start. So it's a 3-year program, but you have 4 additional years if you need them. And hopefully you won't if you join us, of course. And then we have some information about tuition. As you see here, our tuition is the same regardless of where you live. In-state and out-of-state is the same. Now, each semester you can expect, at least based on the numbers for this 2020-2021 school year, you can expect to be spending about $7,183 in tuition for the 8 semesters that you will need to complete your degree, if you do it within 3 years, you will be, you will need about $57,500 in tuition. Okay, and that does not include all the costs associated with transportation to come to the in-person meeting if you don't live in the area, or even hotels if you have to stay for 2 weeks to attend the 2-week class in summer and the weekend classes in fall and spring. All right, that's it. If you have questions, again, I'm Dr. Juste Kojo, the director of the doctoral program, and I'm here with Sashi, who is the assistant director of the Office of Admissions at the university. If you have questions, let us know now, or I'm assuming you have questions in the chat room. We'll cover those in a minute. Ms. Sashi will help me address the questions that are directly related to the admission process. After that, you have here our email addresses. You can email us anytime. If you call the number that is there now, you probably won't get us because of the COVID. But of course, you can always email us, and then we'll be happy to answer your questions. With that, I don't know if Sashi want to add anything before we jump into the Q&A session.
I don't have anything. The one thing that I would like to add is that I'm gonna put the promotion code in the chat so that you can use that code so that you don't have to pay the application fee when you apply online.
That's awesome. So that's at least you didn't waste your time today. You get a code and you don't have to pay application fees. Excellent. So do we have questions?
Thank you. That was sorry, that was a good introduction, Dr. Kojo.
Sure.
My question was around the loans, and I think Sachu here added the links for that. And will we get for instance, the loan proposal for us as part of our application process? Is that how it works?
So when it comes to loan, you're gonna have to apply to FAFSA online.
Okay.
So I believe, like I sent you the link. So all you have to do is follow the link, and you're gonna have to apply online. And after it's approved, the financial aid officer will contact you of like what to do next.
Okay, so this is something we do parallel to submitting our application.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? And we do have a brand new website, not brand new, but a revised website. We did our best to put it, update all the information on there. You can always, get there. And if you don't know it, I'll try to copy and paste it here. But yeah, again, as I said, anytime, feel free to email us. And we'll be happy to answer your questions. Have any of you started the process and is facing difficulties or things that are not happening at this point?
No, I think for me, I just need to complete the application. I was waiting on one of my reference letters, but good feedback on a professor. I may have to look for one because it's been over 10 years since I received my master's. So I have to look for that. I have to drop, but I did have one question. So
Sure.
These tracks are really fantastic. I think they're very relevant now. I've been a working professional for 17 years, and my work has been everything about cybersecurity. So for the track that you have here for cybersecurity, is that just cybersecurity, or has there been some thoughts around expanding that for cyber resiliency? That's where the industry is evolving towards cybersecurity. It's not just the infrastructure security, but also all-encompassing management of disasters besides, IT infrastructures. Have you considered that as part of this curriculum, or maybe that could be a dissertation opportunity?
Exactly. That's the, you give us the answer. At the doctoral level, at least, we encourage students to just look into all directions, including those,
Okay.
new directions, emerging issues, because we cannot teach all of it, right? So
Right.
we encourage students to look into those. The key is to have an advisor who can guide you through the research, through the literature, and we try to do that. At the other graduate, master's level and bachelor's level, though, I cannot speak to that. I'm assuming we have a whole range of professors from different backgrounds who probably cover some of those dimensions of cyber. But I
Right.
don't know for sure. But at the doctoral level, at least, that's why we need people who come in with, like what you just said, new ideas, say
Yeah.
the field need to move into this new direction, and I'm willing to help move it there, and I want to focus in this particular issue and help move the field forward. But yeah,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
contribution.
Very, very, very new. It's right now, I think, just something that we're learning through COVID and moving personnel working
Right.
from home. So I've had to sort of switch hats, and I'm looking for any kind of references in the industry, but because it's so new, it's an area where I put some thoughts in. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Thanks for that contribution, Virginia. Appreciate it. Any other thoughts?
Hi, Dr. Kocho. I
Hey.
I have three questions actually. I could write them in the chat. But the first question is, due to COVID, do you think possibly the in residence program, the July portion of the program, would that might be impacted by maybe travel restrictions or in-person sort of guidelines?
Yeah, good question. We actually just had a conversation or a meeting yesterday about that, and we are still thinking about what format we want. Right now, the in-person last year, since last spring, the in-person classes take place on Zoom, just as we do it now. That's what we do for in-person. And for summer, we're still debating whether we want to keep it as it is on Zoom, or whether we want to move it, to in person, and what the implications are. So we haven't made a decision yet, but we're hoping to make a decision within the next few weeks, based on the information that we have and based on what we know is, safe and in the interest of everyone. Omar, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, that does answer the first question. Thank you.
Okay.
The second question that I had was, if we get to select or if we have any input on the mentor that we're assigned, the faculty mentor, and the committee members as well.
So about the committee members and mentor, we still working on, we revising the process. The next cohort, what you can expect is, once you come to the program, I will ask you to submit a brief description of your research interests and make suggestions as to who you would like to work with before you join the program. And then based on that, I will try to assign you an advisor from the start. It used to be different, so we're trying to do it differently now. So we assign you someone from the program, from the beginning of the program, who can then advise you all the way through the first 2 years. It is only in the third year that we will select two other professors to join the committee or join the advisor to form a dissertation committee. And here too, I will ask you for recommendations, but it is not a guarantee, because as you know, we only have a limited number of professors, and we cannot put all the burden on a few of them. We have to make sure it is equally distributed, in terms of the burden. But yes, we'll be asking for your inputs at some point, but at least for the committee members, it is not guaranteed. The advisor, we will try to do our best to give you, at least one of the three or two that you request, if that answers your question.
It does. Thank you so much. And then the last question that I had was if there's any publication opportunities after we complete our dissertation.
So
and defended.
yeah, what we do, if you have your advisor, that will be one of the things that you will need to discuss with your advisor. They are someone who has experience in research, who knows where you can publish, what you can do to publish, and part of their role is to guide you through that process. We currently have 2 students in who are trying to get published. One of them is doing it solo. The other is doing it with other people as a group. So we encourage that heavily. And we now, starting next year, because for your information, I'm new to the department too. So I'm trying to, shape the department the way I can. And one of the things I'm trying to bring is what we call a research colloquium. So every semester we'll have opportunities for students to present their work and receive feedback. And the idea is to put you in a situation where you get enough feedback, enough confidence to put together a research paper and send out for publication with the help of your advisor. So that's basically how it will look like, by the time you get here, if you do.
Thank you, sir. Those were my questions. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
excellent. Thank you, Omar. Any other questions or comments? I just shared the link to the website for more information if you want. We also have, and maybe now would be a good time to share this with you. We have a newsletter from last year, or from fall for 2020, and that newsletter basically gives you an idea about what our faculty is working on. So you can, look each one up and see the latest areas where they're working, the things that they have published in recent years. That's definitely something we are, trying to promote and at least let you guys know before you join the program, so you know who we are, what we're working on, and that will also help you identify people who you might be willing to work with. Okay, so give me 1 second. I will try to send you the link of the newsletter, and feel free to reach out to a faculty member or to myself if you think that you have similar interest. So I just sent you in the chat room the second website, which is the newsletter. All right, other questions for us?
No, I think that's it. I think we answered all the questions.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you all for coming today. And again, don't forget to get the promotion code. That was the gift from Sashi today. Hopefully you use it and start the application process. At any point, if you have questions, email us. All right?